Hello, my name is Chioma Wogu. I am the head of junior school in Lakeland School, Abuja. I'm here to talk about autism because it's Autism Awareness Month. And here in Lakeland School, we have that department, a developmental disorder that affects children in early childhood. I think between the ages of 0 to 3, that's when you can actually discover if a child has a learning disability or is autistic. And most of the features of an autistic child is the child not being social, doesn't associate with other children. They have verbal or non-verbal communication skill problem. They don't communicate. Sometimes they don't even respond to their names. When you call, they don't respond. They are just a loner sometimes, and they're always by themselves. So those are some of the features that we see when we don't know that a child is autistic. Now, as a school, we have the SEND, as in Special Education Needs Department, and we have a consultant. Now, when we are admitting children for the first time, we have a person from that department that will come and observe. We are not doctors, but most of the features I mentioned earlier, when we notice it in a particular child, the consultant is now being consulted and she's direct the parent to see a therapist or a doctor that will give the final verdict if that child is autistic or not. Okay, as a school, we face a lot of challenges when it comes to identifying children with learning disabilities. For example, like in the primary session where I'm the head, some teachers might come and they're like, "Ma, this child, the way the child holds his or her pencil, the way the child doesn't respond, this is what we are suspecting." And when you call in the parents, they live in denial. I won't really call it denial. I just feel it's lack of information. Because if they are properly informed of things like that, I'm sure they must have also noticed those features in their children. So one of them is living in denial, or better still, lack of information. Because as a parent, we are supposed to go over, know the things that you study your child, and you know the kind of characteristic your child exhibits. Another aspect, if at all, maybe after some assessment and everything, the parents agree, we say, okay, let my child be in the SEND, as in the Special Education Needs Department, and we always like to place them on diets. They don't need to eat sugary food, they don't need carbohydrate, and the parent like, no, my child needs to eat such things, because autistic children, they don't need to eat food that has sugar, like taking Coke, for example, has caffeine. A normal child that takes Coke, for example, you can imagine how that child behaves then compared to when you have an autistic child. Another challenge too is the monetary aspects. For every autistic or child with learning disability, we usually have, for those that are extreme, you have what we call teaching aid, or some people call it shadow. And that is an extra cost which will be paid by the parents. But some parents will say they can't afford that, or they don't want that to be inclusive. I want to talk about the challenge of high expectations from the parents. They want their children the so-called special needs children, to also meet up with other children. These children they are different. So there's no way they can attain the same milestone with other children in the class, with the so-called normal children. But the parents just want them to, you can imagine a child in primary 4, the brain is not that function to do primary 4 work. So the child might actually want to do, the brain can also only carry for reception or year 1 work, but the parents want that child to do the work that is being done in primary 4. It's not visible for an autistic child.